The Mustangs pick up a first down on their opening play of the drive, getting it into Tiger territory. Ball spotted at the 33-yard line. First, and we'll make it the 34-yard line, 1st and 14. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to those of you joining us on our webcast. My name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs. I'll be taking you through tonight's game as well as our senior night festivities and the varsity contest coming up later on. Our thanks to the Wekiva television broadcast production program for their support tonight, helping us to get good quality video of this game as well as our senior night festivities and the varsity game later. As a programming note, please be aware that each of these three events is on its own separate webcast. So you will need to jump from this event to the senior night festivities and then later on to the varsity game, each of those three being managed separately so that for those who would like to come back and enjoy them again after they're over, you can go directly to the event that you'd like to watch without having to fast forward through a bunch of material. And all of those are linked also directly on our website, wekivamustangs.com. Third and 13 coming up for the Mustangs after a loss on the play. Picked off by number 2. Pass picked off by the Tigers and returned for about 10 yards from the spot of the turnover. Tigers will take over with their first offensive possession of the JV contest. Ball spotted at the 36-yard line. 1st and 4. The Mustangs will request their first timeout of the first half. And ladies and gentlemen, we want to let you know that we are live streaming all of our games tonight. This JV game that you're watching right now is being broadcast to YouTube. We will also be broadcasting our senior night festivities and the varsity game to follow that. We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, regardless of whether you're watching online or in person here at Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium. We are just past about 815 subscribers. We need to get to 1,000 to unlock all of our publishing features and become a YouTube partner. You can help us get the rest of the way there on our Wekiva Sports YouTube channel. Number 2 zigs and zags on a flag in the backfield here, and provisionally that'll be right about at the first down marker. Holding is called against the Tigers. That pulls the ball back to the 26-yard line. 2nd and 14. Now replay of first down. 1st and 14. Pass intended for number 2 falls incomplete. Number 15 on the coverage for the Mustangs. 2nd and 14 coming up for the Tigers. That pass intended for number 8. That also falls incomplete. 3rd and 14 coming up for Jones. Expecting any more of these?
There should be one more, but I don't know her papers. Okay. Her name is Giovanna, okay. And number 6.
Tigers will take their time on the punt, but it turns out to be a good one. Gets all the way back to about the 15-yard line. Mustangs will get a decent return out of that. After the return, the ball is spotted at the 19-yard line. That'll make it 1st and 1 for the Mustangs. That's going to essentially amount to a free play for the Mustangs. Gain of 1 on the carry, and it is enough for a 1st down. Now 1st and 20 coming up for Wekiva. And that kind of speaks to the arbitrary nature of the way that down and distance works in flag football. Mustangs only needed to get 1 yard for their first down. Now they need to get 20 for their second 1st down. They almost would have been better off being stopped behind the line of scrimmage and then getting a longer play on their next play. Nevertheless, though, they'll work with what they've got. Number 4 on the carry. Pickup of about 6 yards on the play, and it'll bring up 2nd and 14. I may have been generous with that spot. It's been closer to 15, maybe even 15 and a half yards for the line to gain to midfield. Flag football, of course, you have 4 downs to reach the next quadrant of the field, however far that is. So that's a little bit different than tackle football. Nice shuffle there. Mustangs saw they were going to get stopped, had an opportunity to make a shuffle pass. The shuffle to number 2 results in a pickup of more than 20 yards, or just about 20. The ball is going to be spotted at the 34-yard line, and that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. Scoreless game so far, and the Mustangs will be marching with 1st and 14 when we return from the break. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to stick with us for our senior night festivities. We have 3 young ladies who are in the class of 2019 participating in their final regular season home contest tonight, and we will be celebrating them between the JV and varsity games. That'll also be live streamed on YouTube, so if you have friends and family who are not able to join us in person, make sure that you give them a text message or a Facebook message, however you need to let them know right now, and let them know that they'll be able to tune in live to that just like they are to the JV and the varsity games themselves. Number 16 on the opening play. No gain, and it brings up 2nd and 14. I thought she'd picked up at least a couple of yards on that, but it is difficult to see from here exactly where the flag gets pulled. The officials near the spot, of course, have a much better angle on that than we do here in the press box. Mustangs have some time. They'll go for a diagonal pass. Nobody there. 66 on the coverage. Looked pretty good. Pass falls incomplete, and it brings up 3rd and 14 for the Mustangs. So after a couple of excellent plays in a row, the Mustangs are looking to avoid a punting situation, having gotten all the way into Tiger territory. Now looking at 3rd and 14. They'll take a shotgun formation. Faking the handoff. She'll run it herself, and she's not able to outrun the Tiger defense. Mustang QB keep is good for minimal gain, if any. And we'll pause for a Mustang timeout. Wekiva takes their 2nd timeout of the first half. So indeed, that would be lateral movement. No real meaningful forward progress there. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we invite and encourage you to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. We are at Wekiva Sports on all 3 of those services. In particular, we want to call your attention to our YouTube channel. YouTube recently felt the need to change the rules on live streaming. Now live streaming from mobile devices is only allowed for channels that have at least 1,000 subscribers. Now we understand why they did that, because they're trying to curb abuse from people who create channels fly by night and then put all manner of inappropriate content on them. Unfortunately, that policy decision impacts the good guys along with the bad guys, and it includes us. So we are no longer able to live stream from mobile devices, which is something that we do for things like National Signing Day ceremonies, some of our senior night ceremonies, some of our pregame and halftime coverage during our away games for basketball and football seasons. We like to use that feature a lot to bring you more live Wekiva athletics coverage. So now we need your help getting it back. We've grown our subscriber base by about 300 subscribers in the past week since we've been campaigning for this. We've gone from about 515 subscribers to about 815 subscribers. So we are almost there. Now we need your help to push us over the finish line. It is absolutely free. It costs you nothing. All you have to do is sign into YouTube using your favorite mobile device or computer. You can pull out your phone and do it right now. Search for the Wekiva Sports channel on YouTube and click the little red subscribe button, and you will help us get to that magic number of 1,000 subscribers, and we'll unlock all of our live broadcasting features as well as the ability to be a YouTube partner. Mustangs take a chance and opt to go for it on first down. Play is whistled early, and it's a little unclear to me why. So I'm not really sure what happened there on that last play. I'm not sure if that was an inadvertent whistle or if a timeout was called prior to the snap. There's no movement of the ball, so there are no penalty markers in either direction, but nevertheless, we're essentially going to nullify the play, and we'll try this again. Pass is underthrown and falls incomplete. That will turn the ball over on downs to the Tigers. They'll take over with 1st and 6 at their own 34-yard line. So not an extremely high-risk play there. The Mustangs know that the Tigers are still going to have to get through 3 quadrants of the field, including the one they're in now. The best they could have hoped for with even a good punt would have been to push them back into the 4th quadrant of the field. So it was a calculated risk and an understandable one, but it does not work out for the Mustangs this time. They'll turn the ball over on downs here. The Tigers get their second offensive possession. A lateral shuffle and quickly taken care of by the Mustangs, number 2. On the stop for Wekiva. A loss of 4 yards on the play, and that brings the ball back to the 30-yard line for 2nd and 10. High snap, barely controlled by the quarterback. She's going to go long with it over the Wekiva secondary, and it's in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. The pass falls incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Tigers. And an unfortunate misread there by the Tigers receiver, as that was certainly a first down, and she only had one secondary defender to beat to head toward the end zone there. Nevertheless, it comes up 3rd and 10, and now the Mustangs have an opportunity to make the Tigers go 3 and out. This time the quarterback will look to the other side of the field. The pass is overthrown, falls incomplete. 4th and 10 coming up for the Tigers. So now potentially a more difficult decision for Jones than Wekiva had. This would be a riskier play for them than the Mustangs had from nearly the same spot if they should elect to go for it on 4th down. If the Mustangs take over from there, they only need one more first down to get into the red zone. And the Mustangs go back. It looks like they are indeed going to punt it away. In flag football, you have to declare your intent in advance of the play, whether you are going to go for the fourth down conversion or whether you are going to make the play and punt it away. The punt takes a generous Tigers bounce. And that'll spot the ball at what looks to be about the 10-yard line, where it is downed by the Tigers. So the Mustangs will have a 70-yard field ahead of them, 1st and 10. So definitely the right move there by the Tigers, punting the ball away. They now give the Mustangs quite a ways to head. They'll need to get all the way from the 10-yard line to the opposing goal line. Flag football, of course, uses a 40-yard field, or an 80-yard field, I should say, rather than a 100-yard field, although it still has those 10-yard end zones, just like tackle football does. As I was mentioning earlier, if you do get to fourth down, you have to inform the officials and the other team in advance whether you intend to punt the ball or whether you intend to go for it on fourth down. That is because flag football is not a contact sport, and so for safety reasons, if you are in fact going to punt the ball, the defense is not permitted to blitz you. It's going to be a QB keep. Nice dodge there. Number 16 for the Mustangs. She carries for a gain of what looks to be at least 10 yards. And the spot will put it at about a 13-yard gain. It's enough for a Mustang first down. Nice blind shuffle there, but it is dropped. The pass falls incomplete. And we'll pause here for the 2-minute warning. So the officials had a little less time on their clock than I had on mine. We'll go ahead and sync up with them. Second and 17 coming up for the Mustangs. We'll go for an outside QB keeper route here. Number 16 on the carry. Personal foul is called against the Mustangs. That'll be half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. Third and 28 coming up for the Mustangs. The pass is complete. Ball spotted past the 20-yard line at about the 23. And it brings up third and 17 That previous down did not count because of the penalty flag, so it is in fact 3rd and 17. Two more chances for the Mustangs to get into Tiger territory, and it's picked off. Ball is intercepted by number 2. The Tigers earned their second pick. And we've got just about 36, 38 seconds remaining in the first half. The Tigers will take over inside Mustang territory. High snap, handled well, and oh, she's got an open receiver. Pass is complete to number 8. That is inside the 10-yard line. It's going to set up 1st and goal for the Tigers. About 25 seconds left in the half, give or take. Official time, of course, being kept on the field. And the Tigers will request their first timeout of the first half. Under pressure, it's nearly picked off. Number 6 of the Mustangs on the coverage nearly intercepts the ball. Instead, it falls incomplete. A little under 20 seconds remaining in the half, and it's 2nd and goal. And so the Mustangs, plagued by turnovers in the first half, so far kept us scoreless. Tigers have an opportunity here to have the last word going into the locker room. Outside route, Mustangs trying to chase her down. And there is a touchdown signaled, but also a flag on the play. Personal foul is called against the Tigers. So the Mustangs potentially catch a break here. If that penalty occurred before she crossed the plane of the goal line, it will negate the touchdown. Let's see what the officials signal here. And the ruling is that the personal foul occurred prior to the ball crossing the plane of the goal line. So that will negate the touchdown, and it will instead be a 10-yard penalty. It'll make it second and goal again, a replay of the down from the 10-yard line when we come back from the Tigers taking their second timeout. Just about 11 or 12 seconds remaining on the clock in the half. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you here at the field, we certainly recognize that you probably don't need to be watching the webcast because, well, you're here, and we appreciate that. We do apologize for the fact that the scoreboard is still not working. We are having some issues with the power supply, which, if you've been coming to Wekiva games for any length of time, you know that that has been a recurring issue for us. We are going to try to get that taken care of before the district tournament that we're hosting in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, if you'd like to pull up the scoreboard, if you need to know what the score is or how much time is left in the half or the down and distance, any other information that you would normally find on the scoreboard, you can find it on wekivamustangs.com/scoreboard. We have a virtual copy of the scoreboard on our website. Again, it's wekivamustangs.com/scoreboard. That works here at the stadium. It also works anywhere in the world if you have friends and family who may like to tune into that, even if they don't need the full live webcast. Again, wekivamustangs.com/scoreboard. Pass falls incomplete. That'll bring up the end of the period. Official time again being kept on the field, and time expired during that play. So there will be no fourth down opportunity, and we will go into halftime scoreless. 0-0. The Mustangs plagued by a couple of Tiger interceptions, but the defense coming up with the stop. And we will go into the halftime period with no score on the board yet. 0-0 at the end of 2 quarters. Those of you listening to us online, we're going to mute the audio for the next 5 or 10 minutes until we're ready to play again, so that we can play some music here at the stadium without triggering any of YouTube's copyright detections. We'll be back shortly here at Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium. Tigers have the opening possession of the second half, and we are ready to go after a very brief halftime. In flag football, fumbles immediately result in a dead ball, but you can still lose a lot of yards that way. A loss of 7 puts the ball all the way back at the 9-yard line. Brings up 2nd and 11. I did the math wrong on that. That's closer to a 5 or 6 yard loss. Mustangs will chase the Tigers to the outside corner before getting the stop. A gain of 2 on the play. It brings up 2nd and 9. Excuse me, 3rd and 9 for the Tigers. In trouble in the backfield, running out of time, manages to get the pass away, and it's caught with an open receiver. Tigers making something out of nothing. What could have been a sack instead will turn into about a 30-yard gain, maybe 35. Ball spotted at the 36-yard line. Brings up 1st and 16. So the Mustangs had the backfield covered very well, but had some blown coverage in the secondary, allowing the Tigers to capitalize there. Outside corner tackle missed by the Mustangs, and pass overthrown into Mustang coverage and falls incomplete, bringing up 2nd and 16. So an ill-advised throw there. There were more Mustangs in that area than there were Tigers. And they're fortunate to get away with nothing but a loss of down. Another good run at the backfield, but the Tigers again evade. Nevertheless, the quarterback is rushed into a hasty throw. The pass falls incomplete, and that will bring up 3rd and 16 for the Tigers. Much shorter pass this time, more conservative. It's more successful, but it's also not enough yards. Pass complete to number 7 at about 30-yard line. brings up 4th and 10. And the Tigers are going to go conservative here. They elect to punt it away, even though they're in Mustang territory. And the return is muffed by the Mustangs. That means they'll take over right where it landed. Ball is spotted at the 7-yard line. 1st and 13 coming up for Wekiva. Once again, in flag football, there is no advancement of the ball. It becomes immediately dead after a fumble, and that would include a muffed punt return, which is a form of fumble. So the ball immediately becomes dead where it lands. In a way that actually makes it less risky, because in tackle football, if you attempt that, you can actually end up losing possession of the ball. In this particular case, had she done nothing at all, it just would have rolled farther back into Mustang territory. Number 16 on the carry, 66 on the tackle. Ball is spotted at the 16-yard line, 2nd and 4. Good 9-yard pickup there. Another QB keep. Oh, and a flick. A clever play there by the Mustangs to number 2. After a QB keep to get a few extra yards on it, it's good for a Mustang first down. Ball spotted at the 26-yard line for a pickup of 10, and it brings up 1st and 14. Mustangs less successful on the opening play of this down series. Number 7 on the stop. We'll see where they mark it. It may very well be a loss of yardage here. And no, they're going to leave the markers right where they were. No gain on the play, 2nd and 14. Under pressure, the Mustangs managed to complete number 14 on her way down. Coverage by the Tigers, number 14 as well. And no strike that. That is ruled an incomplete pass, so it'll be 3rd and 14. The Mustangs will huddle up here. Just about a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Number 13 on the carry. Stopped by number 7 after the run by 13. A gain of perhaps 1 on the play. And it brings up 4th and 13. And so the Mustangs are going to have to be careful here. Just like in tackle football, there is no disruption between the 3rd and 4th quarter other than the fact you switch to the other side of the field. So If they lose the ball here over on downs, the Tigers will take over inside Mustang territory. The only catch is going to be which side of the field Mustang territory is on. Pass nearly picked off by number 9. Time has expired on the third quarter, but there is a flag on the play. Defensive holding. So that could potentially help the Mustangs in a huge way here when what otherwise surely would have been an over on down situation. So I'm not entirely sure what the outcome of that penalty marker was, as it's still fourth down. I don't think so. What did we just do? We punt them? Ball spotted at the 15-yard line for a gain of 15 on the play. Good for a Tiger first down, first and goal. An open route for number 2, and she is into the end zone, and it is signaled a touchdown. So it took all the way until 2 minutes into the fourth quarter to get there, but the Tigers finally on the board first, 6-0 with about 8 minutes left in the ballgame. Outside QB keeper out. Flag on the play. Personal foul called against the Tigers. So that will nullify the result of the play. It'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot and a redo of the try. So now a much taller order here. The Tigers need to go 15 yards in one shot. Lateral and then a forward pass. Broken up by number 1. The try falls incomplete and is no good. The score remains 6-0 with about 6.5 minutes remaining in the game. Mustangs take over on their first play of the drive, and it'll be for a loss. Loss of 4. And it's 2nd and 10 after the 4-yard loss. Number 2 on the play for the Mustangs. And the Mustangs will spend their first time out of the second half. 4 minutes to go in the ball game. And ladies and gentlemen, while this may be the last regular season home game, it is not the last game of the season. The Mustangs still have 2 games on the road to finish things out, and those will occur next week. On Tuesday the 16th, the Mustangs travel to Evans to play the Trojans at 5:30 and 6:30. And then on Thursday the 18th, the Mustangs wrap up their season down at Windermere at 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Then we'll have the district tournament here at Wekiva. Not next week, but the following week. And another tackle for loss will bring the Mustangs backwards. So I don't know what coach told them to do during that timeout, but I don't think that was it. Third and 16 coming up for the Mustangs. Or is it? Oh, it is fourth. Excuse me, 4th and 16 as the Mustangs bring out the punting unit. Punt is dropped, and so it will be downed right where it landed. Mustangs pick up about a net of 20 yards on that punt. Puts the ball at the 24-yard line, 1st and 4 for the Tigers. And so an understandable decision, although not one that the Mustangs wanted to have to make, to punt the ball away with less than 3 minutes to go in the ballgame, trailing by a score. Nevertheless, it would be nearly suicidal to give the Tigers the ball at the 4-yard line if they were to turn the ball over on down. So the Mustangs are going to count on their defense here to make the Tigers go 3 and out quickly. Count on the 2-minute warning to get some time stopped. That's not going to do it, though. Number 3 on the carry, and that's good for a 24-yard touchdown run on the very first play of the drive. Well, so that's at least as bad as what would have happened had the Mustangs gone for it on 4th down. And that should also take us to the 2-minute warning, so we'll be in stop time for the remainder of the ball game as the Tigers take on the try here. Number 2 on the carry, sneaking into the corner of the end zone. The try is good. That makes it a 13-0 ball game with a shade under 2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Pass falls incomplete. It brings up 2nd and 6 for the Mustangs. And now Wekiva in trouble here, having to pick up 2 scores in the span of less than 2 minutes. That's a tall order in flag football, with the ability to stop the clock somewhat limited. Pass is underthrown and falls incomplete. 3rd and 6 coming up for Wekiva. So now the Mustangs in do-or-die territory. They're going to have to play 4 downs here, no matter how risky it is. About $1:47 left in the ball game. Wekiva has 2 timeouts left, which is not really enough. If the Tigers do take over, 1 first down for them would probably do it. Mustangs drop back, go long, and it's picked off. Tigers pick 6, their 3rd interception of the game, and this one yields dividends. That makes it a 19-0 ball game, and since we were already under 2 minutes, that also instantly ends the ball game. 19-0, the final score here in the JV contest. All of those points scored in the 4th quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for coming out this afternoon to support your JV Mustang and Tiger athletes. Don't go anywhere. We've got our senior night festivities coming up next, followed by varsity flag football action in the final regular season home game of the 2019 season. If you have friends and family who are not able to join us here in person tonight, make sure you let them know right now that we are going to be live streaming that on our YouTube channel, Wekiva Sports, and that will also be available for you for on-demand replay even if you are here. However, please be aware that the JV game, the senior night festivities, and the varsity game are each their own separate events on YouTube. So you will need to exit out of the JV game and get into the senior night ceremony and then exit that and then get into the varsity game. Each of those are going to be their own events so that those of you who'd like to go back and watch again later don't have to fast forward through the parts you're not interested in. You'll be able to go directly to the section of tonight's coverage that you would like. So we hope that we will see you in just a moment, either here at Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium or on our YouTube channel, Wekiva Sports, where we will present the flag football senior class of 2019. Coming up next.